So here we are in Watch Dogs Legion. There we are across from Tower Bridge, the famous iconic Tower Bridge. It's pretty late in the evening. It's 20 to 8 London time, and it's not raining, which is surprising, not for London. It's actually sunny today as I make the video outside in real London, and it seems to rain in this game when I play it more than it does in the game when I don't play. I don't know why it does that, but anyway. So today I'm going to cover a few things that I've touched on recently in one video. They both kind of combine. So firstly, well, the general gist of the video is going to be about graphics of characters in video games. So firstly, I'm going to go back to Bethesda because a lot's been said about that. One thing that came up somewhere, someone mentioned to me, is that Watch Dogs Legion use motion capture. If you don't know, I'm sure you do, but if you don't know what that is, it's where actors use actors' faces to make the capture of the video character so they look real. And Bethesda games don't, and that's why they look like that to a point. And the point that was made to me was kind of, well, they're kind of real video games because they're not using actors, they're just actors, and whereas they're making real video characters. And I kind of understand if you're really desperately into like how things are made, where that might make a difference, but I think to the majority of players, including myself, and I'm not an expert on tech, so I can't say I know all about this stuff, but just from a layman's point of view, looking at a video game, I don't really care how they make a video game, in that if this girl in Watch Dogs Legion, for example, it could be Pan Am in Cyberpunk, it doesn't matter. If this girl in this video game looks realistic and her lip movements and her eye movements and her physical movements are real just because she's been modelled on an actor in a studio, who cares? I don't care. I don't give it a what's name. If a character in this game or in Cyberpunk or in any other game looks better than someone does in a Bethesda game because they don't use motion capture, well, to be honest, they should. Because I think 99% of people have no interest in how a game's made, and I don't know why they would really. It's how it looks. And if a character looks like this, or looks like Pan Am or Judy or Geralt in The Witcher, well, then I don't know why you would care whether they're modded by an actor in a studio who they're using to make the facial animations and the movements, or whether they're video generated characters. I don't know why that would matter. So it's an interesting point, but I don't really think that the majority of people care, and I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest. I mean, when I think about it now, yeah, when I look at a Bethesda game, they can't be using motion capture because obviously you can see how the characters don't look real. But that's not a good thing, and I don't think a reason to say, well, that's fine, because it's a bit like the Bethesda, it does think the fact they don't use motion capture so their characters look janky and look not real is a good excuse for them, because if it doesn't look real compared to someone in another game, for example, this game's from 2018, this girl looks 100% more real than the character in Starfield. Not just because her movement and the way she speaks and the way her facial movements are and eye movements, but also because of the way they talk to the camera and everything, but that's a thing we've already got into. So I don't think it's an excuse, it's just another one of Bethesda do what they do, so it's okay, or it's better because Bethesda do it differently, and I don't think that's a valid argument. Maybe you do, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I'm not an expert on tech, so please don't tech me to death, because although I'm interested, I won't be able to comment on anything that's too technical, because it's not my thing and it's not the point of this channel. It's just how games look as opposed to the technical parts to how they're made like that. Motion capture against not motion capture is as deep as I go. Anyway, another thing that links to this kind of is I've seen a lot of video footage now from Unknown 9, the new Sweet Baby Destroyed, influence game, and it looks terrible. It looks like a Bethesda game, which is not a compliment. So again, it's how do people make these games? I've not researched Unknown 9, I don't know why the characters look like that. But they look bad. They don't look good. They look dated. They look like characters from Fallout. That's all I can say. When I first saw the video from that, it looked like a Bethesda game, and that's not in a good way. And that's not counting, I'm not going into all the wokeness and all the sweet baby part of that game. There's a whole load of other shit to do with it. But just the graphical side apart, if they'd made a stunning game with top tier graphics, you know, they might have got away with a little bit more, because people would have thought, oh, the game's really beautiful. I mean, I think Forspoken was an awful game, and I don't think the character model on the main girl was really great, but some of the backgrounds were really good and some of the parts to it were good. So you can get away with making a wokey, terrible game with bad gameplay if some part of it's good, if the gameplay was really good, or if the graphics are really good. But the graphics in that look bad, really. So even if they weren't woke characters, and it wasn't a woke agenda sweet baby dross game, it would still look bad. So it's character modelling and such is important in gaming. And the thing is, if you can do this, and this is a 2018 game, Watch Dogs Legion, and you can make a character look like her, if you can make a character look like Panam or Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher game, or whatever it might be, then we have the tech to do it. It's not beyond doing, and it doesn't matter whether it's motion capture or whether it's CGI generated or video created. It doesn't matter how they do it. If you have the tech to make a character look as real as possible, then do it. Death Stranding is another example. There's lots of examples. Plague Tale, there's loads of examples with great graphics that I've seen. I'm not going to list them all, but it's not difficult to make great looking characters. So if you can do it, then there's no excuse for not doing it. And either because you can't be bothered because you're just pushing a message. Sorry, a car went past outside with a loud exhaust. Just because you're pushing a message doesn't entitle you to make a rubbish looking game, and just because you do it that way, like Bethesda, doesn't entitle you to make rubbish graphics. And like with everything that people like, you know, people will think of a reason to defend it, but I don't think a defence of a game is they do it differently, so it doesn't matter if it's not as good. Anyway, I'll be interested in what people think about this, because like I said, I'm sure these different views, Bethesda games seems to drum up quite a bit of debate. Anyway, thanks for watching. Guessagaingaming. Till next time, take care for now.